Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, then I'm Alex, and everything is fine here. Immerse yourself in history, culture, and those quiet corners of the world that don't usually make headlines, but definitely should. So grab a coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let me take you to an unforgettable place. Let me tell you about the wildest question anyone's ever asked me. I was halfway up a slope in the Himalayas, somewhere near Tingri, Tibet. We were trekking through valleys dusted in gold and silence. You know, the kind of silence that hums in your ears because it's so complete. That kind. My guide, Sonam, a guy in his early 30s with cheeks reddened by altitude and laughter, looked over his shoulder as we walked and asked, "You know why Sering's wife lives with all of us?" I blinked. I had no idea who Sering was. But I said, no. Sonam grinned like he was about to share a cosmic joke. "Because she married all three of us." I stopped mid-step. "Wait, what? You mean, all of you are her husbands?" "Yes," he said, matter of fact. "We're brothers." That moment, it cracked my understanding of what marriage could look like a window hit with a rock. This wasn't some reality show twist. This was tradition, ancient, accepted, functional, and, honestly, kind of beautiful in a way I didn't expect. So here's the story of how I came to understand polyandry in Tibet, why a woman might marry multiple brothers, and how that changes everything you think you know about love, family, and survival. We reached the village by dusk. Stone houses stacked like puzzle pieces along the ridge. Children played barefoot in the dust. Yak dung fires sent curls of smoke into the violet sky. Inside Sonam's home, it was warm, chaotic, and full of life. Sering, turns out he was the eldest brother, poured butter tea with a practiced hand. His wife, Dawa, smiled shyly at me but held her own like a queen among kings. She served sampa to everyone, including herself last. She was calm, observant, totally unbothered by four men. There's a younger brother too, all treating her like the center of gravity. You know how in a typical marriage you can just feel if one person is more dominant. Not here. This felt like equilibrium. A strange, slow-moving dance where no one stepped on the other's toes. Over dinner, I asked the obvious, how does this work? Like, practically, emotionally. Sering answered with a shrug, it just does. We grew up knowing this. Our land can't be split. If each brother married separately, our family's plot would disappear. We'd all have to move to the cities. Work construction, send money back. This way, we stay together. Dawa added, gently, and I knew what I was agreeing to. It's not chaos, it's a commitment to the family. No jealousy. Sonam chuckled, sometimes. But we deal with it. Like brothers do. I couldn't stop thinking about it that night. The sleeping arrangements, the emotional boundaries, the sheer emotional maturity it must take to share love like that. But it wasn't just about love. It was about land, survival, lineage, harmony, and an ancient system designed not to break under pressure, but to bend and hold. This is the part you've probably been waiting for. The "how does that even work" question. The unspoken assumption that polyandry must be a mess of jealousy, silent resentments, and awkward sleeping arrangements. So I asked everyone. The brothers, the wives, the elders. I asked in whispers and by the fire, while walking narrow goat paths and sitting cross-legged on packed earth floors. And every time, the answers surprised me. Sering, the eldest of Sonam's family, told me, it's only hard when we try to act like outsiders. What do you mean? I asked. We watch movies now. We have phones. Sometimes you see people say, he's my husband, or, she's my wife, like possession. But here, we say, this is our wife. It's like a garden. If one person tries to fence off a part of it, the whole thing dries up. Another brother, Dorya, gave me a blunt version, jealousy exists. But so does discipline. You feel something, but you don't let it lead you. That's how you stay family. The house they lived in had 3 rooms. One for the parents, still alive and part of daily life, one for the couple, and one multi-purpose room where brothers slept when it wasn't their night with Dawa. No logs, no drama, a rotation known and respected by all. And here's the kicker, everyone was happier for it. Why? Because in a world where farming is backbreaking and winter cuts deep, shared labor matters. 4 men to till, herd, chop, build. 1 woman to care, manage, teach, and love. The emotional load spread across many shoulders. Not one wife exhausted, resenting a man who's never home. Not one man burdened by the weight of being everything. One night, under the stars, Dawa told me, I don't think I'd want a one-husband life. That sounds lonely. I was floored. She explained, when you have multiple husbands, you see more of life. One brings flowers. One brings meat. One fixes things. One listens. You don't expect one person to be a god. They get to just be men. The children in the village called all their mothers, Amma, and all their fathers, Abba. I saw a boy run from one hut to another, getting a scolding in one, then a sweet in another. It was a web, not a line. And no, not everything is perfect. There were tensions. A younger brother once left the family marriage for a year to try his hand at city life. He came back, thin and broke. The others welcomed him like nothing happened. There's no shame in leaving, Searing said. But there's pride in returning. There's a reason this tradition persists, even with TikTok and smartphones buzzing in remote pockets. It's not stubbornness, it's survival. When land passes only to one heir, fragmentation doesn't happen. Villages don't vanish. And stories, those precious, oral stories, don't fade with people scattering. Elders spoke of how, in harsher times, a family of brothers would all marry the same woman, not out of romance, but resilience. We didn't have Netflix, an old man laughed. We had yak, snow, and gods. I watched rituals that weren't for tourists. Fire offerings to ancestors. Quiet blessings under moonlight. And I realized something profound. This isn't about sexuality or rebellion. It's about spiritual math. One woman equals the glue, and many brothers, each a limb of the same beast, protect the legacy. And yet, change is coming. Younger women are seeing options. Education, jobs beyond the ridge. Cell towers bring more than connection, they bring comparison. Some leave, some return. But for many, polyandry isn't oppression, it's choice. A rare kind of balance, forged not by freedom in the Western sense, but by shared duty and a fiercely communal heart. In the morning, as I packed, Dawa came to say goodbye. She held out a braid of yak wool and said, for your wrist. It protects during travel. I tied it on, feeling the weight of everything I'd seen. And not seen. Don't tell our story to make it strange, she said. Tell it so they see we're human, too. As we left the village, I kept glancing back. The mist was starting to rise off the slopes, curling around rooftops and yak pens like the place itself was reluctant to let go. And maybe I was, too. I walked in silence for hours. Sonam didn't say much, either. The trail was steep, and the air thin. But something about that silence felt loaded, like we'd both just witnessed something too sacred for quick words. Eventually, at a rest stop near a frozen stream, I asked him, do you ever think about leaving for good? He shook his head. No, I thought I might. Once, when I was younger, but this way of life, it holds you. It gives you roots even when the world tries to pull you in all directions. I thought about my own life back home. The endless rush, the disconnection, the illusion that love was about finding the one who could meet all your needs and never fail. And here were these families, quietly building lives that ran on patience, structure, sacrifice, and yes, affection. A kind of collective love. A love that made space for more than two people. A love that asked you to give more than you got, sometimes. But that gave you something deeper in return. We reached the base town by nightfall. And that was when my phone buzzed back to life. Notifications exploded. Deadlines. Appointments. The algorithm spinning back into motion. But I didn't turn it off. I didn't run from it. Instead, I sat with it and started typing. Because maybe that's the gift of travel, not to escape your world, but to see it clearer by stepping outside of it. The story of Dawa, Sonam, Searing, and the others, it's not meant to be exotic. It's not meant to be consumed and forgotten. It's meant to stretch you, to make you ask hard questions. What makes a marriage sacred? What does commitment actually look like? And most importantly, how much of our discomfort is based on fear, not understanding? That night, I uploaded my first video clip. A soft pan across the mountains. Kids laughing. A prayer flag fluttering against the sky. The caption read, in a village where one woman marries brothers, I found more peace than in most city apartments. And the comments began to pour in. Some confused, some furious, but many were curious. Moved, grateful, because the truth is, humanity is vast. And love wears more than one face. And sir, if you ever find yourself hiking through the clouds near Tingri, and you see a woman walking barefoot with 4 men beside her, don't judge. You might be witnessing one of the rarest kinds of love the world has quietly sustained, not with noise, but with harmony. And if you listen close, maybe you'll hear the sound of yak bells and laughter. And maybe, just maybe, you'll understand a little more about what it means to belong. Thank you for coming on this journey with me today. If this story touched you, surprised you, or just made you look at the world a little differently, leave a comment, and I'll read them all. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with anyone who is interested. Until next time, stay curious, kind, and keep your heart open to stories that don't fit in one headline. See you soon.